You're not single, you're not unloved, you share a home, a history, a bed with someone you've loved for years, and still, most nights, you feel completely alone. You've stopped reaching for each other. The conversations are logistics now, bills, schedules, who's picking up what, and you lie there next to them wondering how two people can be this close and this far apart.
Look at what the two of you actually say to each other in a day. Did you pay the bill? Did we run out of milk? What time is the pickup? What are we doing about dinner? It's a working relationship, efficient, cooperative, running a household like two people who are good at their jobs. And somewhere in you, there's a sentence you don't send. You type it late at night, and then you delete it because it feels too exposed to say out loud to the person you married.
Before you decide you're just being difficult or ungrateful for a marriage that works on paper, stay with me. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to give you the one word that changes how you see this whole thing. I'll show you why the distance grew so slowly that you never caught the day it started. And I'll hand you a single, honest sentence that can begin to close it, or finally tell you the truth about whether it can. You did not imagine this, so stay with me. This is the part no one says out loud.
And before we go further, I want you to hear one thing clearly. The loneliness you feel next to them is not proof that you picked wrong, or that you're too needy, or that the love was never real. It's a signal, a specific, nameable signal. And once you can see what it's actually pointing at, it stops being a private failure and starts being something you can do something about.
There's a name for this, and naming it helps because it means you're not imagining it and you're not ungrateful. It's sometimes called a roommate marriage. The partnership still functions. You cooperate, you co-manage a life, you're a good team on paper, but the emotional intimacy has quietly drained out of it. You're not at war. There's no affair, no slammed doors, just a slow, polite distance that settled in so gradually that neither of you can name the day it started.
That's the part that makes it so hard to see. There was no fight that broke it, no single betrayal you could point to. If someone asked you when it changed, you couldn't tell them because it didn't happen on a day. It happened in 1,000 small drifts. 2 cups of coffee that used to be shared across a table, slowly sliding to opposite ends of the house. 2 chairs that turned a few degrees at a time away from each other. Nobody chose it. You were both just busy and tired and managing, and the managing quietly became the whole marriage. And because nothing dramatic happened, you keep talking yourself out of the feeling. You tell yourself this is just what long marriages become, that the flutter was always going to fade, that wanting to feel close again after all these years is a little childish. But notice what you're doing when you say that. You're arguing yourself out of a real and reasonable hunger, the hunger to be known by the person lying right next to you. That hunger is not immaturity. Let me show you where it actually comes from.
You know it in the ordinary moments. You text each other about the groceries and the dentist and whose turn it is for the school run. And it reads like 2 coworkers managing a household. You sit at the same table you've shared for years and realize you've got nothing left to say that isn't a task. You reach for your phone in a room where the person you married is sitting 3 feet away. That is not a character flaw, and it is not the end of love. It has a name, and naming it is where this starts to change.
Think about that table for a second. The same table where you used to talk for an hour about nothing. It's still set for 2. You still sit down across from each other most nights. From the outside, it looks exactly like intimacy. 2 places, 2 chairs, a shared meal, but the seats have gone quiet. You pass the salt, you mention the calendar. And the things that actually matter, the fear you had at 3 a.m., the small good thing that happened at work, the way you've been feeling lately, those stay in your throat. You start sentences in your head that never make it across the table. You talk all the time, and almost none of it arrives.
So let me offer you the most important sentence in this whole conversation. You are not unloved. You are unmet. And those are completely different wounds. We confuse them all the time. Unloved means there's no care there at all. Unmet means the care is real, but it isn't reaching the part of you that's lonely. Your partner may love you genuinely and still have no idea how to be emotionally present because no one ever taught them, or because somewhere along the way, you both stopped showing each other the tender, unguarded parts. The love isn't the problem. The meeting is.
Sit with that difference because it changes everything about what you do next. If you were unloved, the answer would be to leave, to go find care where it exists. But that's not your situation, and some part of you already knows it, which is exactly why leaving has never felt clean or obvious. The care is right there. You can see it. Your partner shows up, provides, stays, does the things a caring person does. It just keeps landing next to the ache instead of on it. Like a warm light aimed at where you were standing years ago, still shining, still real, just falling short of where you actually are now. That's what unmet feels like, from the inside, surrounded by proof of love, and still quietly starving for it. Not because it isn't there, because it isn't reaching you.
And here's where it gets personal, because this often runs deeper than the marriage itself. If you grew up with a parent who couldn't be emotionally present, you may have learned very young that this is simply what closeness feels like. Being near someone, handling the practical things, and quietly not expecting to be truly known. So you chose a partnership that felt familiar, not because you wanted distance, but because distance was the water you grew up swimming in. Sometimes the roommate marriage is just the childhood, repeating itself in a grown-up house.
In a grown-up house. Picture the house you grew up in for a moment. If love in that house came in the form of tasks, meals made, bills paid, everyone fed and clean and on time, but rarely in the form of someone asking how you actually were, then you learned the shape of love very early. You learned that love looks like logistics, that a family is a well-run operation, that closeness means being useful and near, not open and known. And so, without ever deciding it, you built the same house again as an adult. Same foundation, same walls, just a different address. You didn't marry the wrong person. You recreated the only blueprint for love you were ever handed. And a blueprint you can't see is a blueprint you can't change.
Living unmet does something slow to a person. You start narrating your inner life to no one. You get very competent and very lonely at the same time. You might tell yourself this is just what marriage becomes after enough years, that wanting more is childish, that you should be grateful for stability, but the longing doesn't go away because you scold it. It just goes underground, and it comes out sideways, in resentment, in numbness, in the strange grief of missing someone who is sitting in the very same room.
And that's the part one most need you to hear, because it's where people do the quietest damage to themselves. When the longing goes underground, it doesn't die. It just stops being something you can name. It leaks out as a short temper over nothing, as a flatness you can't explain to your friends, as scrolling on your phone at midnight next to a person you could reach out and touch. You start to think there's something cold or broken in you. There isn't. That flatness is the sound of a warm thing being pressed down and sat on for years. And if it helps to know, you are nowhere near alone in this. A great many marriages that look completely fine from the outside are two people quietly living exactly this, near each other and unmet. It is one of the most common lonelinesses there is. It just happens to be one of the most hidden, because who admits they're lonely inside a marriage that works?
So here's what I want you to consider, gently. Distance that grew slowly can sometimes close slowly too, but only if someone is willing to be the first to reach. And reaching doesn't mean a dramatic confrontation about everything that's wrong. It can be one honest, undefended sentence. I miss you. Not the schedule, not the team we make, you. Some marriages have far more life left in them than either person believes. They've both just been waiting, behind their walls, for proof that it's safe to come out first. And some, when you finally tell the truth, reveal that the meeting isn't coming back. And that is painful, but it is also clarity. Either way, you deserve to stop pretending the loneliness isn't there.
So think about that sentence you keep deleting, the one that feels too exposed to send. What if the reaching is exactly that? Not a summit meeting about the state of the marriage, but 3 words sent across the small distance of a room. I miss you. It's the most undefended thing you can do, which is why it's so hard and why it changes the air when it finally lands. You don't have to fix everything tonight. You just have to stop deleting the sentence.
Before I let you go, if this put words to something you've been carrying quietly next to someone you love, do one small thing for me. Like this video so it reaches the next person lying awake, feeling alone in a full house. Subscribe if you'd like to keep doing this gentle work together. And in the comments, if you're willing, what is the one sentence you wish you could say to them? I read every one. Then tap the bell so the next conversation finds you.
You did not imagine this, and you are not greedy for wanting more than a well-run household. To be truly known by the person beside you is not a luxury. It's one of the deepest things a human being is built to need. If you've been telling yourself to settle, to be reasonable, to make peace with the quiet, hear this. The quiet was never proof that something is wrong with you. It's just a signal that 2 people stopped reaching, and signals can be answered. Whether this marriage becomes close again or simply becomes honest, you are allowed to stop disappearing inside it. You were never meant to spend the rest of your life sitting next to someone and grieving them at the same time. You're allowed to ask to be met,